Hey folks, Adam Geisen here. We're going to take a quick look at the new Gmail user interface that Google launched just a couple weeks ago. It's really great. It's got some new features like integration with Google Keep, Google Calendar, Google Tasks, a brand new Google Tasks, which we'll look at. Is pretty awesome. You've also got the ability to snooze emails. It's going to remind you to respond to people. It's going to make everybody's lives easier. So let's take a look at the new interface. The first thing that you're going to do is to click on the settings gear. And when you click on the settings gear, you're going to notice that the top option is to try the new Gmail. So go ahead and choose that. Eventually, it will start to load. You'll get a white screen and then you'll get the new Gmail logo, which looks really great, super fluid and very pretty. Once the new user interface loads, you'll see that your Compose button is now white. And that is one of the big changes. And again, you're like, well, what's the difference between a white and a red Compose button? Well, not much, but it sure looks pretty. And that's part of what the new interface is. It's cleaning things up, making things look a little cleaner, and giving us some new options. You'll also notice that over here on the right side of your screen, that you've got three little buttons over here, and those buttons are your Google Keep integration, your Calendar integration, and the new Tasks button. So we'll take a look at all of those as we start to work our way through. One of the first things you're going to notice in the new user interface is that if you hover over the subject of an email without opening it up, you now have options. And the plan with this is to try to make your moving through email a little bit easier and a little bit less hectic. So if you hover over the subject, you've got these new options. The first one is your archive button. My favorite button in all of Gmail. It takes your email out of your inbox, but it still saves it in all mail so you can get it if you search for it later. And that again is a great tool to kind of keep your inbox sort of clean. The next button is your delete button. If you click on that, it's going to delete it. Don't forget that your trash in Gmail gets deleted automatically forever and ever after 30 days. So do not use that as a way to organize your emails. Use your archive button. That's the best way to do it. The third option is going to be either mark your email as read or unread, depending upon whether or not you've already opened it. If it's a brand new email and you just want to mark it as read, click on that. If it's one you've seen before, you can say that it's unread, and that will organize it that way. The fourth one is a brand new option, and again, this is great. It's the snooze button. If you click snooze, you're going to see that a new box opens up, and those options are pretty simple and pretty self-explanatory. You can pick one of their preset days to come back either tomorrow morning, later today, something like that, or you can click down at the bottom to pick a date and time. And that, again, is another handy way to make sure that your emails come back to you when you're ready to deal with them, so you don't spend all day in your inbox. If you take a look at the left-hand side of your screen, you'll notice there's not too much different. The Compose button is white, as I mentioned already, which, again, I like. It's a nice, clean little feature. But you can still get to all your labels underneath your basics, your inbox. You've got a snoozed option now, so you can see which emails you've snoozed in case you haven't gotten to it yet and you wanted to address those. You've got sent, you've got drafts, and then all of your labels down below. So that's pretty similar to how the old Gmail was. One thing that is different, though, is that they've taken labs. Gmail Labs are some of those experimental things that people built for Gmail to try to add a little bit of some cool features. And so what they've done is taken the most popular ones and taken them out of Labs. Labs no longer exists in the new Gmail. And now it's just in advanced features. It's part of the program. So if you click on your gear settings and choose settings, you're going to have an option up here someplace, wherever I'm pointing, that says advanced settings. If you click down Advanced Settings, you'll now see that some of these, which are the old school ones from before, are still available. Ones like canned responses, being able to put your chat on the right-hand side, which right now kind of messes with things, so I wouldn't move your chat for right now. Some of the other ones, again, are still in the experimental mode, but they're pretty handy. One of the best parts about the new Gmail user interface is its integration with Google Calendar, Google Keep, and Google Tasks, which have been totally redone, and we'll talk about that in a second. What we're going to look at first is Calendar. So if you click on the calendar icon over there, it's going to bring sort of a slide out, and that slide out is going to give you the ability to look at each day and click through it. You can click on today to bring it to today's date, or you can kind of slide through. There is no month view or anything like that, but again, you get a good glimpse of what today looks like, and you can fast forward to future days. If you click on any of the white space here in between, you can create an event. In that event creation tab, you do have the ability to give it a title, obviously, a description. You can add and invite people and set start and end times, just like you can with regular calendar. If you want more options, there is, if you click out of this little creation box, you click on the box with the arrow in it, that will open up Calendar into its own window where you have all of the full features that you can use. So again, Calendar is great, it's integrated, and you can view it right here from Gmail. All right, let's take a look at the Keep integration that's new as well. So click on the little yellow icon over there. That icon's gonna bring out another little slide out, just like Calendar did. And here you'll be able to see all of the notes you've taken in Keep. You'll be able to see if they've been pinned, you'll be able to see the images that are in there, and you can see the text. If they're checklists, you'll see the checklists as well, and you can check and uncheck things on that list. Now, what's great about this, because you have your list right there, is that you can copy text and put it into a Gmail. You can't necessarily import Keep into Gmail quite yet. If you've got a Gmail that you want to throw some ideas from Keep in, if you open that Keep note, you can copy it and paste it into Gmail. But right now, that's about as good as the integration gets. What's awesome about it, though, is that you can take new lists and make notes while you're in Gmail. It's because somebody sends you an email, you want to make sure you keep that information. There's your Keep right there, and then you can see it on your phone. You can see it in its own window and all sorts of other stuff with Keep. So again, a great tool for keeping your ideas straight and keeping your checklists in order. Speaking of checklists, Google has now integrated a new version of Google Tasks, which Gmail's always had. You could always add items to tasks, and you always had the ability to do that. But it looked pretty old. It wasn't super user-friendly, and it did. It was an 90s version of everything that Google used to make. They've revamped it. It looks awesome now. So the third icon over here is Google Tasks. And if you pull that up, you have the ability to add and create new tasks. In these tasks, you can either add a description and give it a deadline. When you set those up, they'll list in order of when they're due, and then the ones with no deadline will be down at the bottom. And what's great about this as well, you can add items to a task from a Gmail itself, and it will attach that Gmail. So in order to do that, open up a Gmail, an email that you've received, and at the top there's a 3-dot button that says the More button. If you click on that, you have the ability to add to tasks. So if you add that item to tasks, it will show up in your Google Tasks as a new item with the email included. You will have to create a deadline. If you want to add another description in there, you can, but that's a quick link to get back to the Gmail. Really great way to organize your thoughts, to organize your to-do list, and make sure that you're doing things on time. That's a quick look at the new Gmail user interface. Hope you guys love it as much as we do. We think it's clean, we think the integrations are great, and I know you guys will love it as well. We are going to talk in future videos about how to do some more personalizing with your inbox, how to create filters, how to do all sorts of other cool stuff with Gmail that you may have forgotten or never knew how to do. So hopefully you guys will learn something new in these upcoming videos. So enjoy.